Hello, my name is Krista. Thank you for joining my channel, Krista's Cupcakes. Hi, in this video, I just wanted to start off by giving you a little insight into my diagnosis with breast cancer. So on March 31st, I had a regularly scheduled mammogram appointment. It was a diagnostic mammogram, but a diagnostic mammogram is really normal for me. So since I was about 18 or 19 years old, I discovered that I had lumps in my breast, and I've had those on a frequent basis since that time. With that bit of background, that will explain really why I wasn't that concerned that I had found something. So I had found a lump in my breast. I had an appointment with my primary care doctor, and she scheduled me to have a diagnostic mammogram and ultrasound. So I went into that appointment with no concerns at all. I knew that I had found a lump, but I really wasn't concerned about it. I'm already very lumpy as it is. That's the norm for me. I have had biopsies as well as lumpectomy in the past, so it really was not in the forefront of my mind that I even possibly had cancer. Maybe that was pretty naive of me, but that's where I was. So the appointment started off like normal. I had the mammogram. Following the mammogram, I had the ultrasound. It was during the ultrasound that I could tell that something was a little bit amiss. The doctor spent a lot of time in my axillary, so in my underarm, and that's not where I had the lump. So I was like, what is she doing? Why is she spending so much time there? And if you've had an ultrasound before, you understand when they're taking time to take their measurements. So I could tell that she was measuring something, but once again, that's not why I'm here. That's not where my problem was. And she spent very little time where the lump that I had discovered. So I asked her, am I going to have a biopsy? And she said, do you want the truth? And I said, yes. And she said, yes, you are. So I still wasn't ultimately concerned at that point. I knew that I couldn't feel anything underneath, I still can't, anything underneath my arm. So at any rate, she finished the ultrasound, but she was also sighing, she was taking deep breaths, so that made me concerned, like, why is she acting this way? And granted, I've had this same physician who did my ultrasounds on several different occasions, so, and I had never seen her act like that. So I was starting to get a little bit concerned. She sat me up and she asked me if I wanted to look at the pictures or if I just wanted to talk. And I said, well, let's look at the pictures. So she showed me on the ultrasound what she saw. She explained that she did have some concern. She said that my lymph nodes looked concerning to her. Now, granted, she didn't, at that time, didn't look at the ones on the left side to do a comparison to see if what looked concerning to her was normal for me based off what they look like on the opposite side. But she did say a lot of things that I can't really remember because at some point she just became like the Peanuts teacher and was like, wah, 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 wah. I don't know what she said. But I know that she said that she wanted me to come back for a biopsy today. And I was like, today? You know, I'm saying that in my mind, like, today? So I left out of that appointment and my legs were like jello. Like, now, she never did say I had cancer, but she said enough that I knew that I had cancer, or that I knew it was suspected cancer, that she believed that I had cancer. Um, so I went out in the lobby, made a couple phone calls, had a few tears, gathered myself together, and drove home. So once I got home, I let my husband know what was going on, and we went back together for the biopsy. Now, granted, I said that this was during the time of COVID-19, so he couldn't go into the hospital with me because there's very high restrictions on who can go into the hospital at this time. Really, I think it's only if you're being treated, and maybe they're making special, have special rules for those expecting mothers, or I'm not sure what the rules were. All I know is that I couldn't have anyone go with me, but I did feel better just knowing that he was close and I wasn't really by myself. So we did the biopsy, and then after the biopsy, the physician was very caring. She touched me on my arm and was talking very soft, and she was, saying, hey, we're all here for you. She gave me a couple surgeons' names that they refer people to. And so I just knew something was wrong. Something was amiss. So she leaves out of the room, but the nurse stays in the room, and she is applying pressure to my little incision. I mean, the incision is like, it's so small. If I even showed you, you wouldn't even see it. It's just so small. So anyway, she had to apply pressure for 10 minutes. So when she did, I looked up at her because I'm laying down. She's looking down at me, and I go, do I have cancer? I said, the doctor never did say so, but do I have cancer? And she said, yes, you do. And she reassured me that Dr. Surveyor was very good at what she did, very knowledgeable, that she had been doing this long enough that she can just tell from the ultrasound whether or not the tissue is cancerous or not. She did go on to share her story. She was a 13-year survivor, as well as the physician was also a 13-year survivor. So it was good to hear some comforting stories at a time when you don't even know what to think. So they sent off the samples off to pathology, and I was told it would probably take 2 days before I would hear anything. But on April 1st, she called me and she told me that I had breast cancer. She confirmed what we had already suspected, and she told me that the type of cancer that I had was invasive lobular breast cancer. So it's in the lobes of the breast, not in the ducts. So she shared that, and she asked me, about who I wanted for a surgeon, and I had already done a little bit of research. I have a really good friend that I was able to talk to and to get some advice on she helped me select a surgeon. So I was able to say, hey, this is the physician that I'd like for you to call. And she did that, and that's really my diagnosis story. And I just wanted to share my story. I'm just in hopes that I can help someone else who was feeling the way I was feeling. So after being diagnosed, I'm the type that I needed information. And information made me feel empowered and made me feel like I had what I could control, which was knowledge. It was available to me, but what I found was that what I really wanted wasn't out there. So that's when I said that I would share my story in hopes that I can help someone else. So if you are joining my channel, Krista's Cupcakes, I just plan on having some regular videos where I just kind of share some of the things that I'm experiencing step by step. So I think the next video that I'll share is my first visit with my surgeon. Thank you for watching Krista's Cupcakes.